Welcome to the Driven to Succeed Real Estate Podcast. I'm your host, Brandon Olson, and today I have a special guest from CG Realty, and it is Frank Ngafua. And Frank, I am very happy to have you on. We've been working together for a couple of years now. Pretty excited about the next few years of working together. But today I wanted to bring you on, and I personally wanted to get to know you a little bit more. I know the real estate you, but I also want to know what we were just talking about. So I didn't realize that you and your wife own an assisted living facility or home or whatnot. So tell me a little bit about that.
Well, first of all, I want to thank you for inviting me to this program, if you may call it. Well, I wear different hats. My name is Frank Ngafua. I come from Liberia, West Africa. Mm-hmm. I am married with 5 kids.
5 kids?
5 kids. All of them in college now. I have twins that are in college. One of them is going to Northwestern here in St. Paul, and the other one is going to North Dakota U. So besides that, my wife and myself own the assisted living business. Mm-hmm. My partner and myself, Tom, also own CG Real Estate.
Yep.
I own a liquor store right in Brooklyn Park with another partner.
Look at you.
So, yes, very busy. And during the tax season, Tom and myself also do taxes.
Right,
yes,
right.
Yes.
Yeah, so, and that's been, Tom has helped me with some clients too that I've had where they may have not filed taxes the last couple of years. They want to buy a house. We got to do some taxes.
The taxes, yes.
No, you're definitely a busy guy. So that's 4 different things. You got your real estate business, you got your tax business, you got your assisted living facility, and then you have your liquor store.
Yes.
What liquor store is it?
Well, it is called the Park Liquor Outlet. It is in Brooklyn Park. It is located around the corner of Zane and 63rd.
Okay, right on. Mm-hmm. I worked at Brookdale Toyota for years, and then Toyota City before it was Toyota City moved to Brookdale Toyota. So very familiar with Brooklyn Park. Yes. But that's new to me even. Mm-hmm. That's awesome. Yeah. And Frank, so how did you get your fingers in all this? What made you do? What drives you to be this busy?
Well, growing up in Liberia, my father was an entrepreneur. He never worked for anyone. So I saw that. Even my mom, we own our own cocoa, coffee, plantation. My father distilled sugar cane, for Jane, and so forth. So I grew up seeing all of these things. Yeah. And from the onset, I just started doing stuff for myself and not wanting anyone to give me any hand out.
Right.
So that's just how I started. And when I came to the States in 1990, when the war had just started in Liberia,
sure,
it was a horrible time at the time. But prior to coming to the U.S., I was selling life insurance.
Okay.
Yeah, in Liberia. Before I came here, I started my life insurance career in Liberia in 1984. So coming here, I wanted to pursue that.
Right.
So I got licensed with different companies. In Texas, that's where I started, selling life insurance and so forth. When I moved to Minnesota, then I started with Primerica Financial Services.
Right.
So I was licensed in Minnesota, Iowa, Illinois, Washington, D.C., and so forth with the life insurance. And I had my life insurance. I was doing some investments at the time. I had my Series 6 and 63, at the time and so forth. So I was very busy. And Primerica gave me the opportunity to also start in the mortgage business. But at that point, we're only referring to Citibank,
sure,
Citicorp also. So I started getting my feet into that, and then it just pick up from there,
right?
Pretty much, yeah.
So let me get this straight. So we have life insurance, we got mortgage, we got real estate, we got liquor sales, and taxes. I love it. That's awesome. Hey, we don't have to go anywhere else. We just go to Frank.
Well, but this is what happened. I wanted to be a one-stop shop.
Right,
When
right.
at that time in
Sure,
98, 90, 99, and so forth. So I wanted to be a one-stop shop.
Right.
So I got all these different licenses, and doing the mortgages at the time. So I felt when someone comes to me,
Yeah.
I can do the whole nine
Everything,
yard and
right.
so
Get
forth.
everything done.
Yeah, but I quickly realized that you cannot do everything.
It's just too much.
You cannot
Right.
do everything and so forth. So when the market crashed, I decided to concentrate on real estate.
Sure.
So I completely stopped doing mortgages.
Right.
And every other stuff except for taxes that I was still doing on a
Right.
part-time basis, which is usually between January to April.
Right.
That's the basic time, and other time when someone probably haven't filed their taxes like you were talking about.
Right, right.
Then
Right.
probably help them that time.
And now on taxes, so do you focus more on just the personal tax
Yes,
returns,
personal
right? Not
taxes.
necessarily business.
No.
Unless they have some Schedule C self-employment
Exactly so,
or
yes.
Schedule
I don't-
E, yeah.
Because it's too much, and most people would not want to pay, the
Right,
fees,
the
and it
business.
takes a
Oh,
lot of
trust
time
me,
to do that.
I hate my tax bill. That just getting them done is a ridiculous cost. But,
It
it's,
is, yeah.
for my business. But no, I mean that's awesome. So I come from a family of 5 kids, right? So
Okay.
I don't have any kids of my own, but
Okay.
I have a dog. He's here. That's my kid. But having a big family like that, and we're really close. Is all your siblings, are they here, or is there some in Liberia yet?
Oh, no. I have 3 brothers in the U.S., one of
Okay.
them in Philadelphia, 2 here.
Okay,
But I have most of them back home.
sure.
Yeah.
Right on. And you go back home every winter, don't you, for a little bit?
Oh,
or
not necessarily winter. I go whenever I have the
whenever
time.
you have the
So I'm
time
even thinking about going pretty soon.
Sure.
But just still trying to wiggle out different
Right.
things. Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's your schedule, right?
Definitely.
That's awesome. So now with real estate, some of the things I like to focus on is like when you're helping people out, like, do you have, you kind of, you're located, your office is in, is it Brooklyn Center or Brooklyn Park?
Brooklyn Park.
It's in Brooklyn Park.
Yeah.
And you guys, I know you guys kind of focus, there's a lot of Liberian community around Brooklyn Park, isn't there?
Yes, we are about 40,000 Liberians
Yes.
estimated. Yeah.
Yes. So that's a very good concentration in that area, right?
Yeah, I mean, we're talking about the Twin City area,
Twin
City
Cities.
metro area.
Yeah. Right on.
Yeah.
I've talked to Tom. Tom has been on the show before too, and I know you guys do a lot of community stuff, right?
Yes.
And you guys have parties and you attend some different things and whatnot. So tell me a little bit more about that, like in your community things that do you have anything that you do from a community standpoint?
Yes, I am also chairman of the board for the Liberian Business Association.
There we go.
Yes, so like you rightly said, I'm very, very busy. The Liberian Business Association was established to help bring us, African immigrants, especially Liberians, so that we can network.
Sure.
And showcase our individual businesses.
Right.
Because I believe we have all the talents, all the education, and all of that in our community. And it just makes sense that people know what other people are doing so that we can try to keep most of these businesses in our community. Because most time, money comes into our community,
Right.
and in less than no time, it is all gone.
Sure.
So,
right.
yeah.
Right. That's awesome. I mean, that, like, the more, I worked at Toyota forever, so I got to see some of that community. But it wasn't until I got into this business where I really got to work with, I started with Tom, and then now we've been working together. And, when we close home loans, specifically when it's their first home, like, it's the people in the community that we're closing the homes for, they're so gracious and they're so happy, and it's amazing, and I love it. I mean, it's personally, it's just when we get to, you're a homeowner now, that's pretty awesome.
Well, the thing is, I must really thank you because almost every loan that I have recommended or every family that I have recommended, you've done everything you can to make sure it closes.
Right.
Okay. I haven't recommended any loan to you that haven't closed because you do your due diligence. You make sure you can do it before.
Right.
Whereas other people are not like that, and it hurts when you get the pre-approval, what they call pre-approval.
Right.
Then you find a home. They say, "Oh no, we didn't properly calculate the income, so now it can't work."
Yeah.
And everyone is disappointed.
Yeah, it's
so.
the I learned real fast in this business that you have to be very diligent on the income, and it changes. The last couple of years it's been more challenging, specifically because of the costs are going higher, interest rates are higher right now.
Yes.
And if we don't calculate that income properly, we can be in trouble real fast. And the last thing, my biggest thing, and I teach the people on my team, is empathy, right? You got to have empathy in this business, because you got to put yourself in the shoe of the buyer, right? In the shoes of the buyer, right? So that when you're essentially helping them buy the home, right? Between the real estate side and the lending side, it's your responsibility. They don't know this process. They don't know how it works. They just know that, hey, I can afford, in my own budget, I can afford this payment, right? But we have to make sure that all the things and there's a lot of people with multiple jobs.
Yeah.
When some that I don't think I've come across more people besides the Liberian community that has even 2 full-time jobs.
Yes.
Right? And it's like
Yes.
they're working 2
Sometimes
full
3.
times, right? And they're just, and like you're a worker. So it's making sure that all these different income types work and work properly, right? So you get that with experience. But I'm the biggest thing that I've always been is empathetic to making sure that we close on time if we possibly if things sometimes come up, it's inevitable, but the goal is to make sure that we always have that opportunity to get them where they get the keys and they're closing, and they're just so happy. And it's so fun.
It is. I mean, home ownership is one of the biggest investment, that anyone can have, especially in this country. Right. And I mean, there's nothing bigger than it, And when you rent, I mean, you are pretty much, I can say, throwing money away.
Right.
Because there's nothing in it for you. For Minnesota, at least you can qualify in certain instances to get some rebate back, for your property taxes. But that's it. There's no, there's no equity building. There's nothing else you get in return.
Right. Yeah, it's absolutely the biggest purchase of most people's lives, whether it's the first home or even the second or third home. There's a lot that goes into it, and making sure that you have the right team and people to get you across that finish line and make sure it happens and so forth. Now, I wanted to just close this out by talking a little bit about the market, where we're struggling with right now, first-time home buyers, right? The prices are going up, right? Because there's just so few homes. Interest rates are higher, so the payment's higher. Now, you're looking at all the models. We don't hold, this is probably everybody's famous line right now, is we don't hold a crystal ball, but the models all show interest rates coming down. But there's this huge pent-up demand for housing, period, right? So, I get the question asked almost every day, is this a good time to buy, right? And my opinion is yes, because we're not going to crash. There's so few homes. This is nothing like '08, right, where home prices went up, but there was already 25,000 homes on the market. We're talking like 6,800 homes on the market today. If we added, let's say we have a recession, we add 10,000 foreclosures that come on, which likely are not going to be foreclosures, just going to be people having to get out of their homes. We're still not even anywhere near where we need to be from a buyer's market per se, right? So the prices of homes are going to still, I think they're still predicting 3 to 5 to 6% increase year over year, right? So when rates drop, so let's just say rates are around 7, 6, 8, 7, 5, 7 and a quarter, depending on what, where you're at. When those rates come down, now people are going to start jumping back in. But the purchase price is still going up,
Yes.
right? So do you agree with that? Do you agree
Yes.
with buying now because you can always refinance, and
Yeah.
it looks like rates are going to come down over the next couple of years. Like it should be in, some models have it around 4. But anyway, to answer the question.
Yes, definitely. I do agree that there's no better time to buy now, because when you own now, when the market changes, first of all, there's not much competition. When the market changes, you have the ability to refinance. You are already in your home. Just like the stock market, if you wait until the prices are lower, you have already lost.
You kept losing.
Right. Exactly so. So this is the time to buy and just make sure you can make the payment, that you are comfortable with the payment. That should be the biggest
Number one.
concern, the number one. If you can make the payment, it doesn't matter whether your cousin monthly mortgage is $1,500 and yours is $3,000. But I think most people try to compare what their neighbors are paying or what their cousins are paying or their brother is paying compared to what they would be paying.
Right.
So I think that's the challenge that most people can grasp. Okay, should I pay $4,000 for my $400,000 home, whereas someone who bought $400,000 a couple of years ago is only paying $2,000?
Right.
Yes, you should, because if you did not qualify, the mortgage company is not going to let you have that home.
Correct.
Why do you think some people only qualify for $300,
Right.
and others qualify for $700? It's because they have checked everything,
Right.
and they know they can make that payment. It is just all about you now deciding, am I comfortable making the payment? That's all it boils down to.
And that is spot on. That's the best take, because that is correct. I mean, the reason why there's no homes on the market is a lot of people have a 3% interest rate, or maybe even lower,
Yeah,
right?
2-point-something.
Like
yeah.
65% of people have a rate that's lower than 3.25%. So now when we're talking like, okay, if they want to upgrade their house, they go look at the payment and an interest rate at 7%. And they're like, whoa, that's double my payment. Why am I doing this? So they're waiting for rates to come down. Once they do that, then their home's going to go for sale.
Yeah.
I think rates, once they hit 5.5, it's going to loosen up the market.
Yeah.
Huge. And I think that'll happen next year, maybe even at the end of this year. But
Yeah.
likely they're going to start coming down here this fall, and winter for sure, in my opinion. But that is correct. I mean, it's, now you can get into that home, and let's just say your payment starts out at, $3,500.
Yeah.
But, if rates do slide and it's, let's say we refinance in 2 years and they're in the 4s, that payment could be $2,800,
Yeah.
right? And how many thousands of dollars, or hundreds of thousands of dollars is it going to be if it, once it hits that? So that's my opinion, because.
And I do agree with you, definitely. I do agree with you that people need to buy now, because when that interest rate changes, the competition going to be higher. The same house that you could buy now and possibly ask the seller to help you with your closing costs, it's not going to be the same.
Right.
You most of the time might have to even waive inspection because you want that home. You possibly may have to increase the purchase price, by maybe another $10,000 or $20,000.
Right.
Just to get the home that you could otherwise get with seller concession and all of that now.
Correct.
So.
Yeah, you attended. We have another program with New American Funding that is a NAF cash, we
Yes.
call it, and where it is really beneficial. If let's just say, where the benefit comes from that is a contingent buyer. So let's just say they do have to sell their home. They want to do it. They want to do it now, but they're contingent. They can't carry 2 mortgages.
Yeah.
Right. So, we get them approved through underwriting for NAF cash, and then we can actually buy the new home for them, then get their house on the market, sell it, and close. Then they close on the new home, and we even rent. They can move into it once we close on that NAF cash purchase and rent it back to them. So, just throwing that little extra piece out there for.
Yeah, it was
any
a
of
great
your
information.
clients.
It was a very great information section, and I think I like to get some more clarity about some stuff.
Oh,
But yeah, I
absolutely.
think definitely there are some people who are on the fence,
Right.
who want to buy their new home or want to upgrade, but they can't because, their house may sit on the market forever.
Right.
So
Right.
yes.
Right. Yep. So we'll definitely go over that some more.
Yeah.
Frank, I just want to thank you for coming in today. This has been awesome. Again, I like to get to know my referral partners even better, and so the more and more we do transactions, the more and more I get. But today I got way more. I knew you dabbled with taxes. I knew you do your taxes every year, but no idea about the assisted living. I didn't, and the liquor, and then you're the chairman of the business.
The Liberian Business Association, LIBA. Yeah.
Awesome. So fantastic. I'm very happy to have you in. We're going to post your information to YouTube and so forth. So what's the best way to reach you?
Well, you can reach me by email, which is fngafua@gmail.com.
Yep, we'll list that.
Yeah, my telephone number is 612-221-5382.
Fantastic.
Yes.
So if you have any questions for Frank on the real estate side or even on your taxes, give him a call.
Or if you want a booze, you can stop.
You got to stop by, get a case of some wine or something. That's awesome. I might be stopping in. That's for sure.
Definitely. I mean, we are a little community corner store.
Sure.
But yes, we've owned it for about going to 2 years now, coming August. So yes. So
awesome.
Yes.
Well, again, this is a pleasure today having you on, and I look forward to the next how many transactions we're going to do this year and next and so forth. So Thank you again. I want to thank you all for listening. Please like and subscribe. Reach out to Frank or myself with any questions you have.
Thank you again so much for inviting me. It is a pleasure.
Awesome.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.